What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson, and today we're going to be talking about the X-Men making their way to the MCU, something everybody has been waiting for a very long time, and something that Marvel Studios has been teasing lately, specifically Kevin Feige and some producers. So today we're going to be going over everything that we know and have heard of about the X-Men making their way to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Also, not to mention, it looks like Marvel Studios has been looking at some older actors who used to be a part of the Fox Marvel franchise to make some appearances in Secret Wars. So lots of exciting things to talk about today. Also, very exciting news, we are doing a big giveaway until the end of the year. We'll be giving away some Marvel Legends items of your choice. If you win, we'll be giving one away each week until the end of this year. All you have to do to enter is subscribe to the channel and leave a comment down below. Also, important message, I will personally comment on your comment on YouTube. There have been some fake giveaways out there. They are scams. I apologize for these. I've been working with YouTube to fix them. It will come from my account that says The Cosmic Wonder, and I will give you my personal email address. I will not WhatsApp you at all. And I will personally mention the winners in videos, so stay on the lookout for that. So recently, over the past week or so, a lot of information has been coming out about Secret Wars. I did a big video about it yesterday, so be sure to check that out if you haven't. And it seems like a big plan for Marvel Studios for Secret Wars is the X-Men, but not exactly how you would expect it. A big part of the Secret Wars news and the X-Men news is that Marvel Studios wants some of the old Marvel actors from the Fox universe to come back for Secret Wars, like Hugh Jackman. Now, Deadpool 3 has showed us that anything is possible. It's been confirmed already that Hugh Jackman is returning to play Wolverine for Deadpool 3. So not only is anything possible, but it is actually very likely to happen. According to a report from our buddy Paul over at Heavy Spoilers, Marvel Studios is going to bring the previous Marvel franchises, we're talking the old Fantastic Four, the old X-Men, the old Spider-Man, all on screen together in Secret Wars. He said in a recent video/report, that's more what they're aiming for with Avengers Secret Wars' climax. Every franchise on screen at the same time, all alongside each other, ready to duke it out with Kang. Which is awesome. This is what we all want to see, and it's great that this is probably what is actually going to happen. But what does that mean for the new X-Men entering the MCU? What about the mutants that are supposed to be introduced in Phase 5 and Phase 6? Well, we have a pretty good idea of what Marvel Studios' plan is, especially after some producers, and Kevin Feige has spoken up himself. Unfortunately, as it turns out, the new X-Men in our Marvel Cinematic Universe are probably a few years out, most likely debuting after Secret Wars. In a recent interview, executive producer for Marvel Studios Nate Moore discussed when we could possibly see the X-Men in the MCU. New X-Men characters, not old X-Men characters from the Fox universe. And he says they have some plans and that there's a deep bench. However, he does say that the X-Men are most likely a few years out. He specifically said when talking about new X-Men in the MCU, well, Storm's relationship with Wakanda and publishing is pretty interesting. Obviously, we might be a few years out from the X-Men, so I'm not sure we're there yet. Now, this was for an interview about Black Panther Wakanda Forever, so it's awesome that they mentioned Storm because she actually marries T'Challa in the comics, and of course, she's a mutant and an X-Men. So the good news is there are great plans for the X-Men to appear in the MCU. However, the negative side of that is it looks like we're not going to see them for another few years. So this most likely puts their debut in the MCU for New Mutants after Secret Wars, which means Phase 7 is most likely going to be, like I've been theorizing for a while, the Mutant saga. However, that doesn't mean that we aren't going to see some new X-Men in the MCU before then, because we are. In fact, we already have. Not X-Men per se, not yet, but we have seen mutants. Obviously, Kamala Khan was introduced as a mutant, Miss Marvel, which was a change from the comics, but we're going to assume Marvel has a pretty good plan there. And of course, Namor is a mutant. They have blatantly told us that. They even used the word mutant in the movie. And recently at CCXP in Brazil, the Comic-Con experience, Kevin Feige attended for the Marvel Studios panel, and he was asked about when the X-Men would appear. Now, when he was first asked that, he joked around and he said, "It's too loud in here. I can't hear you. It's so loud." What? Obviously making a joke to kind of avoid the topic because he doesn't want to give anything away. Kevin Feige is not the spoiler man. However, he did end up saying, "No, look, we've already met a few. There's a new mutant named Namor that you might have met recently. So more to come. So this is great news because that seems like it's a very clear indication that more mutants, new ones, are going to be coming in the MCU before Secret Wars. But what exactly is the plan? Well, to talk about the new plan for Marvel Studios, unfortunately, we have to talk about the rights to the X-Men. For those who don't know, in the movies and in the TV shows, Fox held the rights to the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and a few others for a very long time. Now, over the past few years, Disney has gotten those rights back. However, recently, not too long ago, a new report came out that stated Marvel Studios doesn't technically get the rights to the X-Men back until 2025. And until then, they have to use the old X-Men actors and the old X-Men characters if they wanted the X-Men in the MCU. Now, this is both good and bad. This means that they can introduce new characters to the MCU, but they can't use the official X-Men team or any of the old characters like Professor Xavier, Cyclops, Storm, you name it. And based off of what Marvel Studios has done recently, it seems like this is pretty accurate. They had Patrick Stewart back as Professor X in Multiverse of Madness, we have Hugh Jackman returning as Wolverine, and recently Ryan Reynolds has pretty much told us that this rumor about the contracts is probably true. In a recent interview, he was asked about the complications of bringing Hugh Jackman to Deadpool 3, and what he said was kind of eye-opening. Here's what he said. It's not like adding Hugh Jackman to a movie like this is a hard sell. It's an immediate and emphatic, unqualified yes. It's a lot of moving parts and Fox and X-Men and all that kind of stuff that Marvel needs to sort through. A lot of red tape in order to make that happen, and they did it. And I'm really grateful that they did it because for me, working with Hugh is a dream come true. But working with Logan and having Logan and Wade together in a movie is beyond any dream I would ever be audacious enough to have. So I'm really super effing excited to do this film. So Ryan Reynolds has just told us that there was still a lot of red tape and moving parts to sort through for the Fox and the X-Men to appear in the MCU, but Marvel made it happen. Unfortunately, this tells us about this report about the rights not coming back until 2025 is most likely true. But the good news is that now that we know this, we pretty much know Marvel Studios' plan. And even though we can't get the new X-Men team in the MCU yet, their plan is still pretty epic. Have the old X-Men teams return. And in a way, it's actually kind of perfect. We get to see the old X-Men characters and actors in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're going to come together with the characters that we know and love already. The Avengers, the Guardians, Spider-Man. They're going to be on screen with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man with the old Fantastic Four, hopefully. We're going to see Tom Holland's Spider-Man interacting with Deadpool and Tobey Maguire interacting with Captain America. We will have mutants in the MCU at that point in time, and they will be joining the fight. However, the official X-Men team will not have been established yet. That is going to happen in Phase 7. Right after we get a huge send-off to the original X-Men and the original Fantastic Four from the Fox universes. A great send-off to them, and even Grace Randolph reported that that's what Kevin Feige's plan was, his final send-off for those X-Men characters from the Fox universe. So, in Avengers Secret Wars, we are going to see worlds collide, universes collide, and we'll see the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the new and old Fantastic Four, because our new Fantastic Four team is coming in 2024, and we'll see the old X-Men team, we'll see some new mutants as well, combined with our Avengers team and our new characters going up against Kang the Conqueror and most likely some evil variants of themselves. So Secret Wars is going to be absolutely insane. And what's even better is that after Secret Wars, we'll get our new X-Men team. They'll start to build on that. So it's not just going to die down after Secret Wars. It's not going to be a reboot phase like Phase 4 has been. It's going to be the Mutant Saga. So lots of really exciting things coming up from Marvel Studios in the next handful of years. But let me know how excited you are for this in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to stay up to date on everything and to enter the giveaway. For live updates, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.